Okay, ladies, let's talk about why you keep snacking when you genuinely told yourself you were going to stop snacking today. Why is it that a lot of times, even when you're not necessarily hungry, you catch yourself going towards that cabinet looking for something sweet, something salty, something crunchy? I am a crunchy girl. Okay, that is my weakness right there. I will find myself after having a full lunch or a full dinner and I'm full and satisfied. But yet, I want to finish it off with something crunchy? Or sometimes in a more painful situation where it's like you're so full, but you don't know how to stop. You keep reaching for the snack, and it's like your brain knows, your brain starts acting like, why am I even doing this? But for some reason your body keeps reaching for that snack and you literally eat till like you're sick. So I have been there. And I want to offer you a different way to understand what is going on. And what if it's not your snacking is not just a discipline problem? What if, your body's trying to solve for something? And these are the questions that I started asking that helped me um, have a better have a better way of either controlling. I don't want to use the word controlling, but snacking more consciously. That's the word. Yeah. And so, and it is very, very frustrating when you're trying to kick a habit, but it seems like that habit has a stronger hold on you, like it's sunk its teeth so deep into you, you have zero control of yourself. And the reason that this feels so frustrating is because most women who struggle with food already know what they should be doing. You know that you should be eating your protein. You know that eating vegetables help. You know that working out works. Whatever it is, we know we've done all the different diets. You probably have a encyclopedia of all the different types of food that would benefit you. But yet some but even with all that knowledge and information, we live in a world of information now. Like you can easily download free guides, get ChatGPT to create it for you. You name it, it's there. Like it's but you find, even with all of that information you have access to, you find it very difficult to um be able to follow those guides. And so the issue is not usually that you do not know enough. The issue is your capacity. Yes. And what I mean by capacity is you can know exactly what to do, but if your body is tired, stressed, dysregulated in any shape or form, it's underfed, it's highly stimulated, the version of you the version of you that is making food choices is not coming from a calm state. And that version of you is making food decisions from a place of survival. And those two versions of you make completely different food decisions. And so once you understand that, the question now changes. Instead of asking, why do I have no self control? You can start asking, what state was my body trying to achieve by reaching for that snack? Your body is always looking for ways to regulate itself, meaning your body is always going to try to find some type of balance. I don't know if you remember in school, in high school when they taught biology, where they talked about how your body, homeostasis, how your body's always trying to find some form of balance to survive. And that's basically what your body does to through food as well. Whenever, let's say, if your energy drops, um, your body is going to look for something to spike up the energy. If you are feeling stressed, your body's going to try to find some form of relief. That's why a lot of us tend to, you know, drink alcohol, smoke. These are all forms of food that we ingest too. All of, and or let's say you feel emotionally overwhelmed, you can your body's going to try to find some form of comfort. It will eat, and it will foods like foods heavily in carbs like pasta can sometimes bring that feeling of comfort because it's so dense in your body. um Anyways, we can talk about the science later, but if you notice, we intuitively know these things, um where you know you know what to reach for when you need energy to go through your day. You go for the energy drink, you go for coffee. You want to release stress. You already we know like the quick things that will get us there quickly. And and that is why um I have learned that our body speaks a very different language from our brain. So like um your body is constantly trying to um is trying to create a state, change. Is chasing states in your body. What will if you're feeling, like I said, if you're feeling stressed, or and is going to try to find relief. So, but in our brains, sometimes we can get stuck on like labeling foods as good or bad. Our body does not translate that. It only cares about the state of change it's going to experience. So, moralizing food actually even ends up reinforcing some of these habits we're trying to move away from, because that is just not the language that our body follows. So if you want, you can be like, oh, alcohol, this, like weed, or um, cereal, pizza. Like, yes, they're not the healthiest food, but your body does not care. All it knows is, I am stressed, I am overwhelmed. What is going to give me that what is going to give me that immediate relief, you know? I hope I'm explaining this well enough, because that is something that I still struggle with. Learning to stop making food a moral issue and bringing so much shame to my choices. And when you bring that shame, it creates a stress response in your body. And guess what? And when your body is stressed out, guess where what it wants? It's going to go to that same food. It's going to create a craving so strong in your body that you no longer have control but to choose that same food that you're shaming yourself for choosing, that you're feeling bad, about doing. So like let's just start there. Like, let's stop moralizing food as good, bad, and stuff like that. And but the more useful question is, what is this food doing for me right now? What state is it trying to achieve? What do I feel in my body right now? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling overwhelmed? You know, and that is why my body wants this food right now. So, okay, that was a lot. Let's take a moment and um, check in with our bodies. Um, what are you noticing? Anything in your body? You don't have to try to change it. Just notice what is going on in your body. Just getting in the habit of doing these like daily check-ins, because sometimes we run so much on autopilot that we forget to take a moment, take a deep breath, check in with yourself. And I would urge you sometimes to even do this before you eat the snack. When you're able to check in and just notice whatever feeling within you that's even driving this. You don't have to immediately stop from like eating the snack, but just beginning the practice of noticing. That creates space. That automatically creates space, enough space for you to notice a behavior that has been on autopilot for years, probably even a lifetime. And this is why, um, sometimes you can maybe follow like a specific diet for like some time, a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, maybe even a year. And then when you get really dysregulated or something, and you're going through a phase of stress in your life, you catch yourself immediately reverting back to those same old habits because your body learned how to quickly regulate itself with those food. And so that is why I don't believe in like just use willpower, because when your body does not feel resource, it gets harder for you to use willpower. And but a calm body, a grounded body can pause. A stable body has options. You can be like, okay, I'm feeling bored. I want to get stimulated. So how else can I achieve that? Maybe if I want something crunchy, instead of going for the chips, the pita chips, my favorite, I could go for a carrot. Um, you know, but I had the moment to choose. And sometimes I still really want the pita chip. And instead of just eating it and shaming myself or just like blindly just eating it, I will be present with that snack and enjoy every little bit of it. And when I do that, I tend to eat less. Like I still have the snack, but I'm not binging on it. Versus it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this again. I'm eating the same pizza I told myself I wasn't gonna eat. You're shaming yourself and you're spiraling, and then before you know, you've eaten a whole box while watching TV, and you wonder what the hell is going on with me? What's wrong with me? And so, like for me, when I first came into this work, I hated when my coach told me this, and it just felt like, what do you mean bring awareness to this? Like it feels so slow and it feels so simple, but it's so powerful. Every time I've done like the most dramatic shifts, it never stuck. But when I finally decided to humble myself and move slowly and listen to my body, understand what it's craving, doing these exercises that I'm telling you, I it's crazy. It's like I started catching myself in real time, things that I never noticed before. And sometimes, like, I remember just last week, very, very stressful. And normally I will automatically, and because I had a long, full day ahead of me, mm, I wanted to get coffee because I'm like, I'm gonna need that energy since I have a long day. But then I was like, but I'm already anxious. I'm already stressed out. Getting coffee is not gonna solve that problem for me. But you know what is going to do, what is gonna help me instead of skipping breakfast and drinking coffee? Eat a nutritious breakfast, because you are going to need your body to feel stabilized throughout the day if you're going to face the stressful day that you're about to face. You're going to need all the help you can get. And so, granted, it wasn't as exciting as drinking my cup of coffee, my latte, my iced latte. Yes, yes, yes. But eating the eggs with sardines, and avocado, which I love those as well. I just had to take a little bit more time to make those. But um, just doing that in itself, like, I had the capacity to deal with the day up front. And then it started the cascade of me even choosing better choices throughout the day when it came to food. Um, and so I want to leave you with this practice, something you can practice this week. Another exercise. So before reaching for the snack, and even if telling yourself no, I don't want you to start this process by fighting with yourself. We already know how that goes. The moment you add food rules or you tell yourself no, it's almost like the craving comes back with a vengeance, and you have no choice but to obey. And so, instead of fighting yourself, or constantly telling yourself no, I would say, you know take a moment and think, like, what do I think? Again, I will start with just breathing, or we can scratch all of that and just go, like, what is the snack going to do for me? Do I think is going to, like, wake me up, give me more energy, is going to comfort me, keep me distracted? um I remember in college, I would um I would eat I would always have, like, snacks and coffee when I was studying. And that's probably the heaviest I've ever been in my life, when I was in college, for sure. And now that I think about it, it makes sense why a lot of college students gain weight, because studying is boring. It's not the most fun thing to do in the world. So you need something to stimulate yourself while you're doing that. And so I was a huge, huge, huge snacker, and even coffee too. My body has associated coffee with, like, we about to lock in, you know? And that's because I started doing that in college. Before, every time I would sit down to study, I would always have a cup of coffee. And so sometimes it's not even necessarily that I need the energy. It's just that when my body sees the coffee, and it takes that as a cue, we about to lock in. So sometimes I'll literally just have that there and not drink it, just for my body to, like, work with me. Like, it's time to lock in. But anyways, enough of that. Yeah, just taking that moment to ask, like, what exactly this is bringing to me. That in itself, that pause, tells your body that, like, I am here, I am listening, I am not just abandoning myself to a pattern. um and sometimes too, like, there's one more thing I wanted to say, but I'm forgetting, but we will move forward. So, anyways, this all of what I talked about is basically the foundation of what I am building with the Satisfied Weight Loss Method. Because I do not believe that Sustainable weight loss comes from shaming your body into submission and reducing it to discipline or willpower. But I believe that it comes from, creating a stable environment in your body so you're able to choose, not from restriction, not from punishment. You're able to choose from like what your body needs, and you can sometimes choose the options that are going to give you long-term results, like the coffee in itself isn't bad. It's just that it's short-term relief. We're looking for long-term relief. It's like, so maybe we eat other types of foods that will give us that energy, but it's not going to come with us crashing down. And as your body now, and as you give your body more time to get used to that, and you learn what your body needs, and you're able to give it what it needs without shaming it, baby, this is how you lose weight without fighting yourself. And people will look at you and think, oh wow, you're so disciplined, blah blah blah. But it's like, not really. I just listened to what my body needed. And in the next video, you know. So instead, in the next video, we are going to go a layer deeper and talk about why your brain may not actually be craving food. It may be craving stability. And once you understand what these different cravings are, it all starts making more sense. And and I'll give you like more examples of things that you can do to like help meet these states that your cravings. Cravings are information. Listen to it. Don't moralize it. Um, but yeah, this is how I've been able to lose weight and sustain it, because this is a lifetime journey. This is not a 12-week program where, guess what? After those 12-week programs, you gotta, it's not just those 12 weeks, you have to follow those things. You gotta follow it for the rest of your life. Wellness is a lifestyle thing. So why not start creating a system, a foundation that nothing in the outside world can shake that foundation. And it starts with these baby steps of just noticing. Don't just automatically go to the snack. Take a pause and ask, what is my body trying to regulate? And the more you do that, the more you get better at it, and then you create more and more space. And you're like, I see you. I see what you're trying to do. But we're going to choose differently this time. Okay? Till the next video.